All right, so we are going to be casting teeth and making the positive. Alrighty, so what I have here is the tray and the dental alginate. What I'm going to do is mix some dental alginate by eye with some water, scoop it up, and put it into these trays. And you got to do this super quick because this stuff sets pretty darn quick and you need to get in your mouth as soon as possible. So there it is. I got a good cast of my teeth with some dental alginate using one of these plastic trays. So now I'm going to mix up some dental stone, which is this green stone, and I'm going to make it nice and thick so I can build up the stone inside this dental cast. So that is what I'm doing right here, and I'm shaking the table a little bit, make sure there's no bubbles in it. I will also get a tool right here and put this tool in there to make sure there's no bubbles in there. And I'm going to build up on it because I want this mold completely full of stone all the way to the top of it to make sure I have every single bit of gums in this positive as possible so that I can use all the gums to sculpt on when I complete the dental positive. All right, building it up, I let it set, and now I pulled it out and I'm chipping off the little extra pieces that are on it. Check it out, there they are, nice teeth, yeah. All right, mixing up a whole new batch of stone, gonna pour it into the dental trays to make a base for these teeth. Making it nice and thick so it sets up really quick. And right here I see the tray actually has a ding in it, so I'm like, I'm just gonna get a new tray. These trays are super inexpensive, really cheap. So I'm just pouring it into a new tray. I'm gonna get all the stone in it as possible to make this tray nice and thick. So I'm waiting for it to set up a little bit before I put the teeth in there. And now I'm gonna gently float the teeth on top of the stone that I put in there. Enough so it bonds to it, but I wanna put it in there and make sure I have as much gum as possible on these teeth. These are my lower teeth, so I just want to make sure I have as much gum as possible so that when I do smile or something with these fake teeth in, that you will not see my gums, you will see the gums that I make. Now I'm about to do the top, so I'm mixing up the dental alginate without gloves this time. You would want to use gloves if you were doing this on somebody else because it is going in their mouth. So it sets up real quick. I pull it out, get a good cast. So now I'm going to pour the stone in here once again. And on these top ones, you're going to cover the mold really completely over the top. There will not be a gap like the bottom. All right. Check it out. We're doing it. So I'm just building up stone on top of this, letting it set a little bit so it thickens so that I can keep adding stone on top. I want to fill this up completely so I do have a lot of gums in this because having a lot of gums means you have more area to sculpt on. More area to sculpt on, you will not see any of your gums up under these teeth. Alrighty, there it is. Check it out. Pat it down. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit, make sure it looks pretty. And right after this, I am actually going to set them in the base. I don't think I'm going to show it in this video, so I'm just going to pull these out. I'm going to chip out little pieces that I do not need off. Chip out little pieces that I do not need. And now I'm sculpting the gums and placing the teeth. So I placed the top in the tray, as you can see here. I have both positives, both stone positive. I let it set up for probably a few hours to make sure they harden completely. And now here what I'm doing is I'm just building up some gums on the teeth so that I can set the fake teeth that I bought into these gums. Now the reason I have these fake teeth out to the side is because I'm going to mount them or set them inside the gums so that the teeth that I make are going to be super realistic. I want pre-made teeth just so that the teeth look super real once you place them in there. And these are the teeth right there. You can get these teeth at pretty much any dental supply store. I got mine from Davis Dental and over here near Burbank, so near where I live. All right, so what I did here is I dremeled off the back of these teeth. The teeth have, the teeth are pretty thick. So what I do is I Dremel off. If you don't have a Dremel, well, really, I mean, you'd really need a Dremel to get this off the back. This is hard acrylic, so you really need to Dremel them kind of flat so that they will fit over your teeth, so that the teeth are not too big. And you can probably see I have like a white dust on my hands. That is just the powder for me Dremeling the back of these teeth off. So now I'm just setting all these teeth into the gums to sort of get a roundabout idea of where I want to go with these teeth. And because I am doing these off of a character that was from Mad Max, I do have a little bit of reference. That's why you can see me clicking on the computer mouse, because I'm looking at reference of these teeth and I'm trying to get them to just about the same as they are in the film. And they're looking pretty good, so I'm just building up clay around the gums. I have the teeth right about where I want them. So now I'm just going to be sculpting some gums around these teeth. And you know, all I had was maybe like a week to get these teeth done, to get the costume done, to get everything done on this. There's a lot of work to do, so I'm really rushing these teeth. And if you saw what I did just there, I had a torch that I got from a smoke shop. I got a torch, I heat up the clay a little bit. It will soften the clay as well as smooth the clay out to make it look more like gums. So I sort of melt down the front of the clay just so that it looks a little bit more like gum, so I get a good idea of what it's going to look like, and it softens the clay so I can move around better. So right here I'm doing the bottoms now. This is the bottom of the teeth. I am simply just laying clay on there to create the gums, and I already dremeled the back of these teeth off. As you can see, they're kind of flat. So now I am laying them in there, and again I'm looking at reference on the computer to make sure I'm getting these teeth right. And you can also see that I'm matching the teeth together, because it's so important that these teeth are not offline from your original teeth. If they're off a little bit, then you're gonna, at the end of the night, if you're wearing these teeth for a while, you're gonna have a messed up jaw. Your jaw is gonna feel really weird after taking the teeth out. So what you want to line these up as best as possible to match up with your original bite, whether you have an overbite or under or whatever you got. You just wanted to match it up. And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just making sure they match up. There are things that will articulate your teeth. I do have one that will articulate the teeth to be in position right. But again, this is a rush job. I'm making these done. I'm making these teeth real quick, so I don't have time to do all of that special work. And just lining them up, setting the teeth in there, adding teeth around, sculpting, making it look all nice. And I want to extend the gums as far as possible, because I can always Dremel off all the extra gum that I have, but I also don't want to do too little, because if I don't do enough gums, if I smile or open my mouth really wide, you'll see my gums underneath the gums that I sculpted. And you'll see a hard line, and it'll just look weird. So I just want to make sure I have enough, and so I go all the way to the base just to make sure I can, if anything, I can Dremel off some of the gums. Alright, just looking at more reference, make sure it's right. Adding clay to the tops and bottoms, so I go from one to the other so that they match up and I don't get super bored with this. It's a little tedious just to do this like simple task. It just takes a little while to get this done, but I'm doing this pretty much in just just one night. I sculpted these, molded them, and the next day I ran them. So all of this is done in one night after I get off work. And again, you can see here I'm sculpting the gums, making sure they look all nice, and they are long enough for the inside of my mouth so that nobody will see my gums underneath these. Constantly adding clay, flattening it out, smoothing it out, making sure there's a nice thickness. I want there to be a nice thickness just so that when I pull it out of the mold, nothing breaks or anything. It's a nice solid piece because I can always Dremel a little bit more out of it to fit my teeth in there. And as you can see, what I was doing there is I was using a little bit of alcohol on a brush to smooth out the clay. It's another way of getting a nice smooth gum is by using a little bit of alcohol on a brush. It has to be 99% alcohol, cannot be any other alcohol. Make sure it's 99% and it will smooth it out and make it look real nice. And then there I go again. I'm using that torch that I got from a smoke shop, super inexpensive, it's like $4. Using a torch to soften the clay as well as smooth it out so it looks much more like gums. It's looking really good. I think I'm almost done with the top layer. Again, as you can see right there, I just used that torch to smooth it out. Now, what you want to worry about, you don't want to torch it too much. You will burn the clay, as well as you will make it way too soft so the teeth fall out. So be aware of that. And after you torch it, it may take a while for you to be able to work with it again because it may be way too soft to work with after that. So be aware of how much you torch it. Don't torch it too much. A light touch of flame will do the job. Do not leave a steady flame on the chiffon clay. All right, teeth are looking really good, really close to where I want them. Smooth them out again with a little bit of alcohol on a brush. All right, maybe I'm just doing some final touches right here to make sure it's all looking really good. And if you have just put 99% alcohol on the teeth, do not use the torch because 99% alcohol is flammable. And so the teeth will catch on fire. It'll have a little flame. It's easy to put out, you just blow it out. But just as a warning, you don't want to burn yourself and you don't want to burn the clay or your teeth. All right, so molding the teeth, here we go. So I'm using a little bit of 1065 right here, silicone. And I already have the teeth attached to the board. I'm spraying a little bit of release in there, so I got them hot glued onto the board. And this 1065 is 10 to 1. 10 of the silicone and 1 of the catalyst. And I'm using the green catalyst right here, which is supposed to be a little bit more speedy and sets a little bit quicker on this 1065. All right, I'm just pouring it in there. And I also have the teeth hot glued down as well so they do not float up in this silicone. Just doing that. I also did the high pour. You can watch everything that I did right here on another video I have. I have a teeth video of me molding, and making other teeth. So making sure you guys check that out. So now what I'm doing here is I'm just taking it out of the mold, trimming off all the excess that made it up under the teeth and pulling them out. So now I'm going to be making the acrylic teeth or dentures. All right, as you can see right here, these are the teeth that I used to put inside the sculpt. And this is a rough draft of the sculpt that I did. This is the first phase. And now as you can see, I dremeled out the back of each tooth, like I said, and now I'm putting them back into the mold. So when you demold it, save all the teeth and know where they go. And so I just placed them right back in the mold. And I'm gonna mix up some pink acrylic because since the teeth are already in the mold, I'm gonna mix up some pink acrylic that has some red flocking in there to give it some veins. And I'm going to pour it into the mold. And I'm not gonna place my teeth in there to mold it directly to my teeth. I'm going to slush that pink acrylic around in there to give it a nice even coat all throughout the teeth mold and to lock those teeth in place. The last thing you want to do is have one of those teeth fall out of place, and then once you get done with this, you just ruin some really nice teeth, and it's really hard to make these again. You pretty much get one shot at these teeth because they're dremeled out the exact way they are in the mold. Mixing up a second layer of this pink acrylic to slush it around in there. It's really thick acrylic, so it's really slow to move around in there, so you just rock it back and forth. Make sure this acrylic is up on the walls a lot. Make sure it's filling all the gum area, because this pink acrylic is going to be your gums, because the teeth are in there like that. The teeth are in there and they're going to be like teeth, and the gums are the pink acrylic, and this is what it looks like right now. I'm just clipping off the little extra pieces of acrylic that are around it. So the teeth already look really great, super realistic. And now I'm doing the bottoms, the same exact process. I put all each individual teeth in there, and I'm gonna pour the pink acrylic in there. And then again, I am it's just slushing it around up against the walls. It's really thick, so it takes a little while to move, so I'm just rolling it back and forth and making sure it's locking those individual teeth in there so they do not move. Now I'm doing one more layer of this pink acrylic, just so that I get a nice thick layer of gums. And again, I'm not, like I did in my other monster teeth video, I'm not putting my teeth in there to mold it like this. I'm gonna do that directly on my teeth. So, and I'm just putting a little bit more of this pink acrylic in there, making sure it's on the walls really well, because I'm going to end up dremeling a lot of this pink acrylic out to make it have some really thin gums. All right, check it out. Now I have some super realistic, awesome dentures. They look great. Now I'm going to be fitting the dentures with Flexacryl. All right, this is the rough draft of the teeth already. They look a little rough. I'm going to Dremel out behind the teeth as much as possible. I'm going to Dremel out as much of the pink acrylic out as possible so that I can fit my teeth in there. So I Dremeled out a lot of it. As you can see, the teeth down there are pretty hollow because I Dremeled out a lot. And I mixed what is called Flexacryl in there, which is a flexible acrylic that is also pink like gums. I mixed it with the monomer it comes with, and I scooped it and put it into the teeth tray that I made by Dremeling it out, and I fit it directly in my mouth. That's what I'm doing right there. So the Flexacryl is almost a thick liquid in there, and it's going to fit directly on my teeth and lock my teeth in there. And I just did it with the bottoms as well. And there you go. These are the teeth. I also painted them. I put a little bit of red in there to give it a little bit of irritation on the gums, a little bit of bad gums. I didn't want to paint them too much. The teeth were already pretty yellow, so I left them yellow, and these are the final teeth. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I know if you want to see a whole process of me making just acrylic teeth, is you go out there and watch my monster teeth video. I do have one of those that explains everything, as well as the molding process in depth, the sculpting, everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was pretty fun to do. I have many more of these Mad Max videos, these Doof and People Eater videos. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys later.